Alright, now we will actually talk about the key Python modules and the library. So for Python module, there's NumPy, Pandas, which we actually learned just now. TensorFlow is something that we will learn. Of course, sklearn is where we can actually work on that, and that's basically Python. And PyTorch, Terrano is actually another stuff. Basically, I just have learned about NumPy, Pandas, sklearn is something that we will learn. And this is where Python comes in. So Python is an interpretative language. Don't need to link or compile program. It's a high-level language, works in two modes. Interactive modes try to program the code in one line or the expression at one time. Standard mode is to run a program many times from start to end. That is basically Python. Python 3 is to be used. The object-oriented representative of data contains a building function that can be changed by all Python program. So the object is one of the primitive elements in Python. Everything in Python is an object, real as well as conceptual object. All data are represented by objects and relations between the objects. Mutually objects and objects, those values can be changed. Immutable objects are objects which values can be changed. Immutable objects are objects which values cannot be changed after their creation. So most Python library consists of module. Module can be imported to your code using imported statement. Python standard library or package are installed using a pip install statement. Python objects and type. Integer as a whole number. Float numbers is a float that has a decimal points. Complex number is real number or the imaginary part. So for Python object, each object has three characters: object type, object value, object identity, type, which is a number, a string, or a list. Most Python object has either data or functions or both associated to them. So those are called attributes. Attributes, the name of attributes follows the name of the object separated by dots between them. Example, ship underscore length dot value. So attributes actually follows the name of the objects and separated by a dot. So this ship length is dot value. There's two types of attribute, data attribute and methods attribute. Data attribute is a value that is attached to the object. Method is a function that attached to the object that is performed some function or operation of that object. Example, the ship name dot mean. Mean means it has a parenthesis followed by the name of the attribute. If there is no parenthesis, example x dot shape dot shape is the data attribute. So dot is basically separating the attribute by the length of the object. So example, x dot shape, x is the object name, dot is to separate the attribute, and shape is the value. Yeah. So attribute in Python function is import math pi, right, or math dot square root open and close parenthesis, import numpy as mp, math square root 20 or mp square root 10. So basic operations are like add, subtract, multiply, divide, exclamation mark is not equals to, double equal signs is equals to. That's how Python actually identified. And then assignment is not a mathematical operation, and random choice, random, import random, and random choice like 25, 20, 50, 70, 256. Those are like the random choice. So assignment, the equal sign in Python. So assignment is assigning to it. So it is different from equal sign in mathematics. So is a two equal sign is assigned to that. So for example, the name space like pi, which is a pi, the object space is 3.14159. Cargo ship, so you can assign an object which is in this case Neptune Zircon, which is the object. Ship length, the object is 305. 305 can be length. So it is an assignment operator. The function is associated to a name with an object. So expression and boolean. Expression is a combination of objects and operators that computes a value. Objects of Boolean type has only two values, true or false. Boolean operation or net. Input is type bracket false. Output is a Boolean. So in is true and true. Out can be true. So sequence is are sequentials that, because the objects are contained in a sequence. Four types of sequence: list, tuplets, range, object, and string. From left to right, right to left. For example, the first column is usually 0, second column is 1. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the last part can also be s-1, which is from reverse. So output like s0 to 5 basically means that it starts from line 0, and then 5 will be like 4, 8, 11, and that's how it actually in terms of sequence, that's how this Python is being kind of work on. List is the mutable object of sequence of any object or type used to store homogeneous item. Strings are sequence of individual character, whereas lists are sequentials of any type of Python object. So string is like any sequentials of any individual character, right? Lists of mutable, but strings are immutable. So strings are basically not mutable, and mutable objects or sequence of object of any type. Strings and lists come out with their own methods. For example, odd number underscore number, like 1, 3, 5, 7. Odd number 0, and odd number append of 9 would means that it will be 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Yeah, which has an append of 9. So lists are even lists could be 2, 4, 6, 8. Numbers is equals to odd numbers plus even number, and then you can 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, even and odd number, and even number is plus together. So number in reverse. So the list of methods for list is append. Append is basically to add new item to the end of the list. Yeah. Append. Insert is you insert an item in the nth position of the list. Pop is to remove and return to the last item in the list. Pop against remove to the and removes the return in the end item of the list. Is like x list pop I, which is return to the nth item of the list. Sort or sorted, modified the list to be sorted. Sorted, build a new sorted list. Reverse is you modify a list to be reverse order. Index, you return to the index of first occurrence of that index. Count is you x list count, return to the number of occurrence of the item. Remove, basically x list remove the first occurrence of the item. Tuplets is immutable sequence, typically used to store heterogeneous data, single object that consists of several different parts. Tuplets are used when you need to return more than one type of object in Python function. So x is equals to 5.6, y is equals to 10.7, coordinate is equals to xy. So input will be the type coordinates, output will be tuplet. Input the coordinate xy, right? So the output will be like 5.6 comma 10.7. So basically you return to more than one object in the Python function for xy in the coordinate, so you can print basically share out what is x and y. Yeah, so tuplets is immutable sequence, typically used to store heterogeneous data. Range is immutable sequences, that means you cannot change, of integer that are commonly used for the loop, require less memory. So example, you input range 7, out is actually blank. Input range of 0 to 5, output is also blank. And input of list of range of 5, then your output become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So range is immutable sequence of integer and are commonly used for loop. So that's range. Strings are immutable again, sequence of character, so like ship type, container underscore ship, bulk underscore carrier, tankers, etc. Length, len is the ship type, and the ship type is 0, or ship type is 0, 3. This 0, first 0 is the row, 3 is actually the column, right? So ship type -3 is count backward the 3, and the special service ship in the ship type, when you want to find this, is out, and is false. So string is not mutable, so it's called immutable sequence of characters. Set is an uncontrolled collection of distinct objects. It can be used for immutable objects, example numbers or string, but not mutable object like the list and dictionaries. Two types of sets. One is called just a set. Normal sets are mutable. The other is called frozen set. Frozen sets are immutable. That means you cannot change. So sets cannot be indexed. Element in a set cannot be duplicated. All objects inside a set are always unique and distinct. So in a set is an unordered collection of distinct objects. Yeah, can be used for immutable object. That means you cannot change. Sets operation will be like union, intersection. Sets different. Section is equals to set, and intersection of sets is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The length of intersection sets dot add 10, which is a value. Sets is a name, right? Then dot this is a value, you add 10 to it. So intersection sets, your out will be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You add one more to it, so it's like a pen. Set operation. Capital X is open and close bracket, parentheses, asterisk has empty sets. So small letter x is 1, 4, 6, y is equals to 4, 6, 7. Then your input x and y, so your output is 4 and 6. Yeah. So when your input is x minus y, so it's actually 1. So your input of questions to y minus x, right? The output will be 7. So dictionary, mapping from keys to value objects consists of keys of value pairs where the keys must be immutable. Keys are immutable and values can be mutable. So keys cannot be changed, values can be changed. That's what it means. So immutable, you can modify the content once you created inside your dictionary on the fly. Can be used for performing very fast lookup on unordered data. It's not a sequence and therefore not maintained in a left to right order of an object pair. Looping for a dictionary using the key values pairs will be iterated and arbitrary order. So in dictionary, for example, year build parentheses, year build can be Seabird 1990s, Roberta Jill 1990s. So this is like parentheses of data inside. You input your questions on year build of seabirds. Your output you can find will be 1990. So basically a dictionary is like a database we actually point out. So in current year 2020 is your input. So in age seabirds, current year minus year build. So your input is age of seabirds equals to minus 30. Right, then your output becomes 30. Right, so the current year is 2020. And then your year built for seabird is 1990. So 2020 minus 1990 is 30. So your output becomes 30. The minus operation happens first, then the equal sign, which means assignment. So that's how it actually work in the Python programming. Dictionary is the dictionary keys method to find out the keys is in the dictionary. Use the values method to find out what are the values in the dictionary. When you use these values, Python returns to your object which has a special type which is called view object. They provide a dynamic view of the keys or values of the dictionaries. Ship names equals to ship name.keys, right? And then the type is a ship name. So your output is your dictionary keys, and then you'll be a ship name. So that's how dictionaries is been used. Typing. if in the Python program x is equals to 5, how does Python know that x should be stand for integer? Three important concepts are involved is variable, objects, and reference in the three key steps. Step 1, Python creates the objects. For example, like 5. Step 2, Python will create the variable name x. Python will then insert a reference from the name of the object. Variable names of the objects are stored in different parts of the computer memories, and the variables are always like linked to the object, never to other variables. So variables names are always linked to object. Like typing, right? From x equals to 5, so x tends to 5, y equals to x, y equals to y minus 1, right? And then line 1 it could be 4, 7, 8, line 2 could be L1. So your variables of line 1 can be assigned to L2. L1 0 becomes 13, and so that line 1 13 7 8, so your first value has changed, so it becomes 13 7 8 instead of 4 7 8. Then L2 will also be changed, so your L, which is like 1 2 3, M equals to 1 2 3, once you put L equals to M, that means it must be equal. Then is a double equal sign is a relational operation, returns to true or false. So in this case, L and M, they are the same, they are true, so L is M, so out will becomes like a false. Yeah, alright. So but if you put L double equals to M, the output can be equals to true. So we can check the ID of L and ID of M. The output could be a string of numbers, so that these are like the strings of numbers. So this is a typing. Statements are used to compute values, assign and modify attributes. Return statement is used to return values from function. The import statement is used to import modules. The pass statement is to do nothing. Right, pass statement is to do nothing. Compile statements contain group of other statements and many effects or control the execution of those statements in some ways. A compile statement consists of one or more clauses, where clauses consist of a header, a block, or a suite of codes. If or if statement, if test block a code, if test block of codes, right? And then else is basically block of code. So if y is greater than y, absolute value is equals to x minus y. If y is greater than x, the absolute value becomes y minus x. Else absolute value becomes 0. So this is else, if or else statement. This is how we can be written. For and while loop. For loop, a sequence of iteration that assign to the item in sequence to target one at a time and runs the block code for each item, unless the loop is terminated early with a break statement. The block of a code is run many times as there are items in the sequence. So the target in sequence is like block of codes. For x in the range of 10, then you can print x, which you print the range of 10. Print basically shows. So for loop, so you can actually loop year underscore build, right, a parenthesis, and then year build you can put in a string of data. It can also be dictionary, as we mentioned just now. So Seabird 1990s, right, and this is basically the library. Year underscore build dot keys, right, and then your year build can be Seabird and current year equals to 2020. So for the ship name in year underscore key build, I can print out ship name, comma, year build, and then parentheses, sorry, a bracket or ship name. So the alphas can be 1.0, 0.01, 0.0001, 3 zeros. For alpha, in alphas, print alpha equals to alpha, right? For count of alpha in emulate, and you print the count of alpha. So this is basically a loop. Assignment. Given the current year 2020, write some loops to calculate the age of each ship and print out the name and basically the year built. So for each loop, sort out the names and print out the same information in alphabetical order of the ship. So this is one way that we can write. So later we can share this. While loop is used for repeating execution of codes as long as the given expression is true. Repeatedly test the expression. If the expression is true, it executes the first batch of code. If the execution is false, it executes the second batch of codes. It presents and then terminates. While loop, the program does not know how many times it will test the expression. For loop, the program runs a number of iterations defined in the program using the example of range. Least comprehend is the number minus your range. Square, you bracket it for the numbers in numbers. Square equals to numbers, double star 2 means you square it. Square appends the square. So square 2 is equals to number, star star, which is multiply 2 for the numbers in numbers. So square roots, for square roots is equals to sqrt, and then you put in the numbers for numbers in numbers. So sum I, which is I, and then double star star 2, where I in range of 3s. So this is how you can list a comprehension. List in comprehension, in input you can have list, bracket, right? 12, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in tubelet, x is x in the list. You print the tubelets out, becomes nothing. So in x list of x in tubelets, you try to avoid that. So you print a list, it will be actually x is when you have an input x equals to 1, 2, 3, 4. Input index x in a numpy array where numpy dot where x. So index x is equals to index x dot to list tubelet index equals to tubelet x for the index of x. Yeah. So introduction of function. Function are devised for group statements so that they can be executed for more than once in a program. So those are function. Function maximize the code's reuse and minimize the code redundancy. They enable dividing a program task into smaller tasks to achieve the procedure decomposition of a complex task. So you use a function to actually write the codes. A function is defined by the define statement. Arguably, two Python functions are matched by position. The object is sent back to the earlier caller using the return statement. So define add, right? AB. So your sum A plus B, then you return again. So sum A comma B. So this is a function. Functions are all names created assigned to a function are all local to that particular function. They exist only when the function runs. To modify the values of the function from inside the function, we use global statement. So functions are local, and then in order to modify the whole thing, we use a global statement. So function, arguably to a Python function are matched by position. You define additional A plus A comma B. So the sum is A plus B. You return sum A comma B. You define intersection S1 S2. Intersection underscore resolution is equals to open and close bracket. For X1 is S1. If X is in S2, then intersection underscore res dot append. Then you run the intersection res again. To find out rows with the same value of a 2D array, x is equals to np dot array with 222, 202 or 200. For I in range, x dot shape 0 if np or xi equals to so equals is actually to make sure that this and this is equal, and then if it's equal, then it becomes true. So in a capital X of I and add this column 0 row of I, so you print row and I. So now we need to write a similar function to find a column with the small value in X. So reading from or writing to a file. the function opens to the function opens and return to a file. It takes two arguments, from the first being the file name and the second is the mode to be used. If the mode argument is missing, R is assumed. Yeah, after reading is completed, close the files with close. Yeah, so if F is open, data.dat R, and input is the f.nym, and output become, well, what is the f? F is basically data.dat. Yeah, so you input again, f, you read, right? So this will consist of the content, the mode, the output. R is read from a file, W is write to a file, A is to append to the existing content. Append meaning add to the existing content. Yeah. So writing text and numbers to a file. So you F is equals to open your output dot tax and W, and your function dot write. This is a new line of files. Under what they call that, backslash of n. You write semicolon, parentheses, add string, in front there's no row, and then colon 4.2f, each backslash n, close colon. Then your format is 20 liters 1.274, or you can have a open output.txt comma w, right, as f. So what you can write is f.write. This is the new line of the line, what do you call that, backslash n. You write a parenthesis at absolute of string, colon 4.2f, and each backslash n at a format of 20 liters 1.274. So this is the new line for each file. So 20 liters at 1.27 each. So this is a way that the format can be written. Yeah. So file location is the file text can be located in the working location, i.e. CWD, right? Or the file is located in the directory specific to a C colon directory of the file. In Colab, the file can be found using a copy command located when there's the three dot is kind of clicked. So Google Colab, you will look into it, and introducing of Google Colab for data analytics. There's the ultimate cloud-based interactive notes. So there is a link, we can actually check on it, and you can set up a Google Colab account, and all programming will be done in the Colab platform.